Today we're going to talk about a tool called facts versus interpretations. This material is taken from the works of a good friend of mine, a colleague. His name is Mickey Connolly. Mickey Connolly and Richard Reineshek wrote a book called The Communication Catalyst. They have a company called Conversant, and the material I'm going to present is taken from their work. Facts versus interpretations. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody that goes something like this? Let's say you and I have this conversation, and I tell you my view. That is my view. Now you, the respectful individual that you are, patient, respectful of me, wait till I'm completely done telling you my view, at which point you tell me your view, which happens to be very different from my view. This is your view. Now me, not being as patient as you, interrupt you halfway through your explanation of your view so that I could tell you my view one more time in case you hadn't heard my view the first time. At which point you lose patience as well, and you interrupt me and tell me your view a second time, and now I want to tell you my view a third time, and you want to tell me your view a third time, and we never actually stop to ask, what is our view? Do we have a view that overlaps? We never stop to ask that. What happens is, when we speak to each other, we often commingle facts and interpretations. Facts are provable. They are either true or false. They can be observed. They can be verified. You can establish their validity. In contrast, interpretations or opinions or explanations of the facts, just because they explain the fact, interpretations don't become true. They just happen to be one way of explaining the observed facts. For example, I might walk up to you. Let's say I am the project leader and you happen to be a member of the project team, and I could walk up to you and say, you know, I don't think you don't seem to be committed to this project. This accusation, of course, you might take offense at. First of all, it is very hard to prove. I would not be able to prove that you are not committed to this project. What proof could I establish? Is there a light that goes off on your head saying so-and-so is committed to the project? That's not a provable statement. It is not a fact. In contrast, I might walk up to you and say, listen, for the last 3 project team meetings, you have been late. Last 2 project team meetings, you had not completed the pre-work assigned prior to the meeting. The last 2 project meetings, you took no action items. You did not volunteer for any actions during those meetings. As a result, I interpret that behavior to mean that you are not committed to this project. Assuming that the facts I laid out are in fact true, by the way, they are facts as in they are observable, verifiable, provable items, assuming they are in fact true, I laid out the facts as I saw them and the interpretation I had in trying to explain those facts. Given that you are not on time, you didn't do the work, you don't take any work to do, I interpret that to mean you are not committed to the project. When you separate facts and interpretations, you get a better picture of what is true and the belief you have engendered as a result. My business partner, David Baker, has a great expression. He says, we tell ourselves stories. We tell stories, and these stories become true pretty soon, even though the basis for the story, there might have been some facts, the story itself never actually occurred. These are the stories we tell. I don't think you're committed to the project. It's a story I tell, and pretty soon I find all sorts of reasons why I continue to believe that you are not committed to the project. In communicating, separate facts from interpretations. What is true from the stories you've told yourself. By doing that, the conversation that you have and the other person has can become more productive. Always ask yourself, is that a fact or is that an interpretation?